and the mindset for abundance. I'm Lexley Overton, and I'm so excited to be here with you on this beautiful Monday. I help lawyers and their teams become more powerful in and out of the courtroom. Love what I do, and a big part of what we teach is all about mindset, that it begins with how you think. So, we're going to jump right in this morning. I love the quote that the mind is everything. What you think, you become. It's true. It's the mindset is a critical component of success in all areas of your life, from business to relationships. And there's all kinds of quantitative research that backs this up. But I love to talk about the mentality of versus the two different types of mentality, scarcity versus abundance mindset, the way that Stephen Covey talks about it in the best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he refers to that a scarcity mentality refers to people seeing life as a finite pie. So that if one person takes a big piece, that leaves less for everyone else. And most particularly in what we do in the corporate world, and as lawyers, especially when we are advocating for our clients, it can often seem like that we're in the battle and that there are finite resources and that there's always a no win for someone. But this type of scarcity mindset is what really keeps us from achieving our goals. An abundant mindset refers to the paradigm where there's plenty for everyone, and there's a way of looking and operating in life that takes in your connection to everyone. So, the very first tip that I have for you is to focus on what you have. I was talking to a client yesterday who was very frustrated in the department that she's working in. It's not the way she wants it to be. Coming up against new leadership, doing things that are different. And when we focus on the problem, then we are going to have a reaction that is consistent with what the focus is. So if the focus on the problem, then what we feel is the anxiety and the resistance and all of that that comes with the focus on the problem. And things might not be perfect, right? Often in life, they're not. And like with this client, they were definitely not the way she wanted them to be. But there were things that were going right. And she did have the ability to impact those around her. So focus on what you have is a really great way to start to shift yourself in a more of abundance mindset. When we focus and have even gratitude on what is going right, then we feel differently. When we feel differently, life is more abundant. I would rather live in that space than to be focused on the problem. So I'm not saying you can't ignore problems. I'm not saying you can go around ignoring problems. What I'm saying is that our minds are very, very smart and will always be focusing on the problem because it's a primal mindset. It's looking for a way to protect us. When we focus on the problem and we have anxiety, the way that we will act will be consistent with that. It will be fight, flight, or freeze. And that doesn't help the problem at all. If I can focus on what I have and what is going right and on what I want to have happen, then I can take baby steps. One, I feel better. And two, I can start to take action, baby steps that are consistent with what I want to create. But if I'm focused on the problem and anxiety and I'm stuck in fight, flight, or freeze, I'm not going to take any action that's consistent with what I want the change to be. So it's just a first tip in starting to, instead of being focused so on the problem, of looking at what's possible and what you have. The second tip, really simple, and as you come in this morning, say good morning. If you're catching this on the replay, I'd love for you to put #replay. The second tip is surround yourself with people who have an abundance mindset. You know that if you are around people who are negative, you're around people who are always seeing the glass as half empty, that it affects you. And the biggest way that I've proven this idea in my life that when we are around people who are abundant, we affect other people. And so when we are around people who are abundant, they affect us, is with my own children. I really, really focus on what's going right and what is, you know, the things that are great in life, and to see the glass always as half full. And I know that it works and that people around you affect you because I see it all the time and how my kids' minds think. And sometimes they remind me of, of having that abundance mindset. So ask yourself, who's in your life? Who do you spend your most time with? Are these people who are abundant? Are the people that you're with at work, are they people who have an abundant mindset, that they believe in the possibilities? Are your closest relationships with people like that? If not, start seeking it out. Surround yourself, get to know, look at the ways of thinking of the people who have an abundant mindset. The third is to look for ways to create a win win situation. And this can be hard as lawyers. We think that if one person wins, then another has to lose. But I want you to think about, how could you create win win conditions in your life to combat this manner of thinking? What if we could look for ways for both parties to leave with a sense of accomplishment and a better feeling about everything? You can certainly think about how to practice this with just even the way that you approach um, the opposing counsel in a case. And instead of being with, I've experienced as a trial lawyer for many years, would experience a lot of aggressive attacks that weren't necessary for really advocating effectively for one's client. And in fact, when we can stay in a space where we're more centered and we're really focused on what is the best outcome for the client and what is the best outcome for the whole good, it's much more successful. But consider practicing this both in your personal and your professional life. And this often means listening without judgment, fully understanding what a win win means for both parties, and brainstorming solutions that could help to satisfy both parties. Often see that in mediations, right? We really start, we might be advocating, but at the same time, we're trying to come together with a solution that in some way both parties walk away feeling that that was a successful resolution. And then the final tip is really one that I've already sort of mentioned, and it's probably the most important, and that is to have a daily gratitude practice. So everything I start my day with gratitude, but every group that I start with and I'm coaching, we start with gratitude. When a client is in a really bad space, we start with gratitude, because there's not a whole lot that you can get done from a mindset that is in scarcity and lack and fear. But when you shift into a mindset of gratitude, it literally changes everything. So if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Oprah Winfrey says that. So it's very difficult to feel fear or sadness while you're feeling grateful at the same time. And we know that there's all kinds of studies based in psychology researching how gratitude improves the mental and physical well-being and overall experience of happiness in life. So it's a surefire way to instantly reduce feelings of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And if we can do that, then we can be in a space where we're more creative. We're feeling better. It comes back to focusing on what you have, not focusing on the problem, but what you're creating. We know that, bottom line, that gratitude research shows that it absolutely benefits our minds, our bodies, and souls, which helps us to be more happy and to be more productive. So finally, train your mind to recognize possibilities. So abundance mindsets allows you to see more in your life, more options, more choices, more resources. When I'm focused on the problem, I really see the problem. When I'm focused on what's possible, different things can come in. One fascinating study out of Harvard found that when we focus on one particular thing very intently, other possibilities that are right in front of us go completely unnoticed. The brain can only absorb so much. So if your belief is, I can't do it or it's impossible, then any other thoughts contradicting that will get thrown out. Start training your mind to loosen its focus and create an expanded, abundant awareness. All right, so thanks for joining and watching. Tell me if you're here on the replay. I hope you guys have a fabulous week.